Hey everyone, Vulsker here. I'm here with my very first video on my dive into comics and graphic novels. As some of you have might seen my introductory video, I'm actually into a lot of the nerdy stuff and a lot of comic heroes and manga and things of that nature, but I've actually never really been into comics themselves. So talking to my brother Dsquare, I'd recommend checking his channel out. I decided to dive into the comic world as of recently and started a little bit of a collection, and I'm actually diving into a little bit of the X-Men with the Rebirth, House of X, Powers of X. But today, I wanted to talk about one of the full graphic novel series that I just got done reading, and that is Batman White Knight. First of all, I want to say, loved it. Absolutely enjoyed it. And there's going to be a little bit of spoilers in this, but I'm going to try to keep it a little clean and not too in your face with that because I don't want to ruin a lot of the surprises. But I can definitely say, read it. Totally would recommend it. First of all, the big thing with this is the DC Black Label, meaning that they are sole stories that directors and creative artists can go and do with our beloved villains and heroes without ruining or causing issues with the DC continuity, the main continuity. And with this one, we do start with a very experienced Batman and Joker. Gotta love that duo. Best around. And when you start to dive a little bit into it, you see some things that are a little different than usual. First and foremost, it starts a really big scene or action sequence where Joker's just toying the hell out of Batman, chasing him around the city, has these plans, and then you find out that it's a ploy to cause Batman to just lose his shit, and the Joker, as mentioned on the back, becomes sane. He's cured, which for anybody who loves the Joker knows he is one twisted fuck. So in this case, you get to see a little bit of that side of what the Joker or Jack Napier would be without that twisted side. So it actually kind of spins Batman into the villain, the destructive, chaotic, near deaths to civilians, tons of damage. And Jack Napier, or Good Joker, takes that and toys with it. And that's his lead-in to become the White Knight instead of the Dark Knight. It really, really shows a side of Joker that is unique, new, and absolutely interesting, with a couple little tidbits in there that I was a little shocked by, but rather enjoyed. One, it actually introduces a second Joker derived from a second Harley Quinn, which that blew my mind when I got to that part. The big thing here is the original Harley got sick and tired of Joker's demented, fake love, abusive relationship, and found a way for him to fall for a new woman as Harley as a replacement, so she peace out. And that's introduced when Jack Napier first comes up and he appears cured, he has this plan, and Harley's like, no, you need to be twisted. I want you the way you were. And then all of a sudden, these two like hyenas and the old school Harley comes in. The new one looks more kind of based off of the Arkham Suicide Squad kind of new age Harley, and the original is in her jester suit and just basically just like, no, he's cured. This is the man I love. You get the fuck out of here. He's now mine again. which I love that. And that ultimately caused this other Harley to have a goal in mind of, no, Joker's not good. Gotham doesn't need a good Joker. And she just starts wreaking havoc to try to bring him back out. While on the other side, the original Harley is enjoying Jack Napier for how he is, the love building, a little bit of a romance there, even a potential wedding. But that's as Napier starts to become loved by Gotham and basically showing that Gotham doesn't need Batman. And it starts to eat at Batman. And you can see this. But when you think and you look into the story and you're like, okay, is he going crazy? Is this not Batman? He's old, mature, but he's brutal. He's psychotic. Like, what's going on? Well, you start to see some things that go outside that continuity, like that second Harley Quinn who becomes the Neo Joker. And then you find out through talks with Batgirl and Nightwing that Dick is actually not the original Robin, and that Jason Todd was. And that they never found Jason Todd's body after the Joker just mutilated him, which still comes from, the continuity of what eventually turns into the Red Hood. But you find that that's different but interesting, because Dick even explains that Jason was like a son to him, and after losing him, he's never been the same. So that actually caused Batman onto his even darker slide. And then that's why when you go back and you look at the scenes where he's just wailing on the Joker, trying to murder him, takes a handful of pills and just shoves them down his throat, you're like, okay, it's starting to make a little sense here that Joker's really not the only one with issues. But as it progresses, you start to see Jack, like, the pills are, they're losing its power, and he's back and forth, Napier to Joker, twisted, mentally sane, and the flip-flopping is really cool. And you get to see, that Harley is actually still a Harley, and she just wants to be with Napier, the guy she fell in love with, the typical, psychiatric help, and she could see that good side was still in him. So ultimately, it kind of comes into this just big old battle royal, because Napier's plan to win over Gotham was breaking the rules a little bit, bringing in some villains, but that's all taken from him. And Neo Joker basically gets this power and just starts wreaking havoc, like I mentioned earlier. And then you see some really odd, interesting tidbits, such as Batman's family actually knew the family of Mr. Freeze, and that they actually derived from Nazis. So that was interesting. Even said, like, Mr. Freeze even mentioned that the Waynes were kind of like parents to him. What? And there's some sad situations. I don't want to spill those beans, but some beloved characters do die, or some really scenes that you're just like, oh shit, like, that shows you how much he really truly cared for Wayne, or the Waynes, mainly Bruce in that context. But I'm excited because I got done reading this as I was about halfway through. I did see that there was a confirmation that they're doing The Curse of the White Knight, which is the sequel, and issue 1 actually just came out this week, so I'm super excited to see it. I think I might wait a little bit, get the graphic novel, kind of join this one and get through it, but if it's anything like this one, I'm excited as hell, and I can't wait to see it. So if you want a really off-the-wall, unique, new, fresh take on Batman and the Joker, I would definitely recommend it. And I mean, seriously, there's scenes where it has almost every Batmobile from the movie universes, the Tumbler, the original Adam West, Then you have a new age take, like kind of a tank, where he looks almost like an H, kind of. It's kind of really unique. And then you have the original, like off of the Burton one. So it's really cool to bring in all those aspects. But like I said, totally would recommend it. Great read. If you ask me, easily a 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, definitely go read it. And, you know, tell me what you think. Comments below. Now, I do have a plan because, like I mentioned a little earlier, just kind of throw this in so you guys are aware. My first true dive into comic kind of weekly, I did start a series, Powers of X, House of X, and then Absolute Carnage. So be on the lookout for some videos around this. Absolute Carnage. Fucking Carnage is brutalizing the Marvel Universe. What's better than that? Send me up. Yes. Send me a hell. Come on. And then these two. Let me just say, definitely unique. And I'm loving every bit of it. And it's truly, like, I can't wait. I've got issue 2 last week for House of X. Now I'm waiting on Powers of X issue 2 coming out this week. So that's going to be awesome. But look on for these two. Definitely the next. Absolute Carnage, and then I got plenty more coming. Making me a little stockpile, family case of all the comics and graphic novels. But once again, White Knight, totally recommend it. Check it out. But be on the lookout for my other ones, guys. If you liked what you saw, thumbs up, please, absolutely. Comments, feedback, anything, send them my way. And if you want to keep in touch, go ahead, subscribe, hit the little bell, get some notifications. Wouldn't hurt. I'd love it. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining me. Vulsker out. Well, I think we found him.
He's hurt. He's hurt.
Got him.
Nice. The guy's across the street.